On a warm August night in 1998, a U.S. Coast Guard aircraft on routine patrol over international waters spots a suspicious 175-foot fishing vessel more than 300 miles off the coast of Baja California, Mexico. The rusty Belizean-flagged boat arouses the suspicions of Coast Guard officials. It has no fishing equipment on board. The mysterious vessel is determined to be the Chi-Young. The discovery of the Chi-Young would set the wheels in motion for a large-scale interdiction of alien smuggling on the high seas, a challenge that would test the resolve of the U.S. Coast Guard and the Immigration and Naturalization Service in San Diego. August 27, 1998, personnel from the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Monroe are granted permission to board the Chi-Young by her Taiwanese captain. An inspection of the Chi-Young's cargo hold reveals a shocking scene. 164 Chinese migrants locked inside the ship's belly, being smuggled to the United States. After more than 70 harrowing days at sea, the smuggled migrants are hungry and frustrated. Several are ill. The conditions aboard the ship are deplorable. Most of the food and fresh water supply is gone. All that remains is spoiled meat and rancid vegetables. Within hours, Coast Guard boats carry INS personnel from San Diego to the Chi-Young. Once on board, INS and Coast Guard officers begin dealing with serious threats to the health and safety of the migrants, many of whom are unruly, starting fires, fighting, and refusing to eat. Several desperate migrants even jump overboard into shark-infested waters. They are quickly rescued by highly trained Coast Guard teams. Ultimately, order is restored, and the arduous task of interviewing and identifying the migrants and smugglers begins. To ensure the well-being of the smuggled passengers, U.S. Coast Guard medics and U.S. Navy surgeons examine the migrants, providing immediate medical attention to the sick. 2 critically ill migrants are airlifted to San Diego hospitals. As a result of the quick action, they both fully recover. During this unprecedented operation, the U.S. Coast Guard provides more than 40,000 pounds of food and supplies. In one day alone, 16,000 pounds of supplies are delivered by air and by sea. The spirits of the desperate Chinese migrants are lifted as they receive the hot meals and medical care that they have been without for 70 long days. Working around the clock, INS officers complete asylum interviews to determine whether individual migrants will be allowed to stay in the United States. INS criminal investigators complete the initial smuggling probe. Swift action by the INS keeps delicate international negotiations on track. September 18, 1998. After more than 3 weeks since the initial boarding, authorization is given for the Chi-Young to be escorted into San Diego Harbor. Preparations are made for her orderly arrival at the San Diego Naval Pier, where she is turned over to INS officers. Her long journey over.
The fate of nearly 200 Chinese immigrants after more than 2 months at sea. Their voyage finally came to an end at the 32nd Street Naval Station, but many could find themselves back in China in just a few weeks. John Gregory reports.
After nearly 70 days at sea, the suspected Chinese immigrants finally set foot on U.S. soil. Their ship was intercepted by the Coast Guard last month. A meeting at sea, guardsmen say the passengers actually seemed to welcome.
After further health screenings, the weary migrants are taken into custody by INS officers and placed into expedited removal proceedings. As a result of the incident, 18 crew members and smugglers are indicted in federal court. The plight of the Chi-Young passengers is compelling. But we must not forget that a ruthless, sophisticated, international smuggling ring orchestrated their harrowing journey. This exploitation of economic migrants makes alien smugglers a primary target for arrest and prosecution by INS investigators worldwide. Smugglers who are concerned with profit yet ignore the safety and well-being of their human cargo are unscrupulous, dangerous people. The Chi Young operation in San Diego highlights the ability of the INS to quickly mobilize and work side by side with fellow law enforcement agencies who assist us in achieving one of our primary goals: the protection of our nation's borders by land, sea, and air, and the enforcement of our nation's immigration laws, a goal to which the service remains committed.